Hello. Hey, Desiree. How are you? Yes, the new studio is here. It's a thing. It's still lots of boxes, so still adjusting. So bear with me if the camera and the lighting isn't, its usual self. Because when I look at the screen, it's not as dark, but it's like when I look at the screen, it's darker than it is when it's right in front of me. So Desiree says, doing okay, just resting on the couch, just some busy fun at Disneyland. Oh, that's nice. You're in Disneyland for Thanksgiving? Just want to do a quick warm-up. I didn't really get to draw much today. It was a lot of lately it's been doing a lot of the back-end work for the Kickstarter and a fair amount of graphic design work, so yeah, I'm not sure why it's so the lighting is so yellow. Yeah, I'll just have to live with it, I suppose. Pre-gaming for Turkey Day. Yeah, new apartment. Still living out of boxes mostly. Camille's done a good job of getting stuff unpacked, but all my art supplies is in a giant box, and most of my paper is and stuff like that. This is the middle of the face. Chin is a little too big, even though it's exaggerated. There we go. That's better. This is just a quick sketch, and we did reach 200 subscribers over on YouTube, so next week we will definitely have a giveaway, and we are going to go live with the Kickstarter on the 30th. That's when it's going to go. That's when it's going to go, so we'll see what people think. Hopefully we get funded and things roll on, and it'd be a very exciting way to end out the year. See, Thanksgiving at our house was not too different from anybody else growing up, but I would say that like my parents both were not fans of turkey, so we did not eat much turkey, the traditional stuff growing up. They'd have all the sides, but they would do like ham or a chicken or a roast or something, just because they didn't like turkey so much. They had to eat it a ton as a kid at like every holiday, and they didn't want to have to keep eating turkey that they didn't like. If you got to pay for it, you might as well make something you like. If somebody invites, I don't mind turkey. I like turkey tips, turkey burgers, turkey sandwiches. I just wanted to do a quick little sketch, so we'll just grab our little flare pen. I'm in that stage where I'm definitely a bit nervous about the whole Kickstarter situation. And unfortunately, the book is not done. I basically since July, I lost out on most of my working time that I'd planned for it. So it will be coming out next year. It'll be shipping next year. barring I don't get hit by a bus or something. But that's what we ended up having to do for the Iron Face Kickstarter, and that went pretty well, I would say. Everybody got their books. Hey, it's Mika. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope all is well on the island. Hey, Dennis. I am doing all right. I'm happy to be live tonight after skipping last week because we had to move the entire studio and all of my belongings. Not that far away, but so anybody knows that has had to move, a comic collection or a studio or both. It's quite an undertaking. How are you? That's right. When it's more set up, I'll move the camera around so people can take a look. It's still mostly boxes. My shelves are here. My flat files are here. Um, Most of my gear is here. The Cintiq is here. Um, you know, it's functional, but it's not pretty at the moment. I haven't hung up any of my artwork yet. I've got some framed pages and stuff to hang up that are just sitting next to the floor. Hey, yeah, glad you could be here. Every Wednesday. And during the Kickstarter, I'll probably do some pop-ins on the weekends or whenever I got time, just to say hi and let people know where we're at and what's going on and try to introduce people to my silly, fun character here. And I showed some of the couple of the rewards. There's like serious rewards that are fun, but then there's that are cool, but then there's also silly rewards like I'll find you a sweet shell on the beach, stuff like that. Um, and I made like an over the top, ridiculous, funny stretch goal all the way up to like $100,000. I'm not saying we're gonna get to that point, but I'm glad you like him. I'm really excited that people are digging the character so far. And when the book comes out, I hope it meets everyone's expectations. This is a sketch cover for issue 0. Another one of the rewards is to get an ink drawing on one of these. Oh no way! The light just fixed. Now it looks correct. I don't know what I did, but now it looks correct. Maybe the camera just had to settle into the new space. Oh yeah, the Pops Little Leaguers. Yeah, the soda can. What was the other one that we came up with on the fly? It was potato chips. POPOTA. Toe. I think that's what it was. Or toe chips. Yeah. Just silly. Last week we did Undersea Hero and Krakus. Let's do some different characters on this one. You gotta have Undersea Hero, but I think we gotta have the correlator. What if we had him like try to come up with a little story? Here's Undersea Hero. Here's the correlator. Colonel Feathers? We could get some Colonel Feathers in here. Sure. Anytime you draw Janna War, you can get Colonel Feathers in there. He's never too far away. You have the hair. See, that's the beauty of the big long hair is you can use it for a compositional thing anytime. Never have too much crack. Yes, that's correct. That was Camille cutting through one of the doors to the outside is through the studio space, so she'll be cutting back. I haven't drawn much in the way of like crazy expressions the last probably 2 weeks, so let's get a slightly maniacal smile on the correlator here. Just having fun. These sketch covers, I've learned, especially for ones of my own characters, I just gotta relax and fit whatever fits on there and try to draw it correctly, and that's it. Like, try not to bite off more than I can chew with these sketch covers. I don't know if anybody else is the same way, but like I want the cover to be, as good as any cover that I would put on normally if I draw 11 by 17, and that's really like an unrealistic expectation is to get the same level of detail when you shrink it down or anything. So I just try to relax. Here's the correlator's silly ponytail. Sort of a crooked smile. I'm missing the Bruins Panthers tonight, so it is big to-doings, big rematch game, so I'll catch the highlights, don't worry. When I'm really going and I have a lot of practice, I can really just kind of come up with like 1 or 2 panel gags basically on these sketch covers, and that's when I know I'm drawing and writing well. Because like my writing has a lot to do with how well I'm drawing. Because that's what comic books are, is they're stories, so can render, um, something wonderfully, but if the concept is terrible, it doesn't matter. Dennis says I shouldn't have a problem missing the pets, though. That's true. But on Thanksgiving, I believe other family members will like hate watch it, so it'll probably be on the TV. But I'll once we're done with the pleasantries, maybe I can break out my sketchbook or something. But I'll be cooking, so at least I think that's usually the way of things. Is usually I'm cooking something. So, does anybody have any interesting Thanksgiving traditions? I've got some Christmas ones I'll talk about. When we get closer to the holidays. I'll be sure to call like some of my extended family on it, or I'll give my brother a call because I won't get to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time. I don't know. There's just something about the pose right here where he's like trying to convince Jan that he's right, and like when you read the comic, like as much as we love the correlator, he's probably not right. I've been watching a fair amount of Iron Chef lately, the original, the Japanese one. It's on Tubi right now for free if anybody wants some good Good watching. I think Colonel Feathers will have to be in the foreground with this thing. Well, let's put all the villains in there. Let's get Professor Prawn in there. Maybe he's like standing defiantly, like smiling. Desiree's cooking for herself. You got anything planned? Are you doing are you doing anything that you is it something you like to cook for yourself? When I cook for myself, I don't always make it super fancy. Sometimes I'll make like a just a salad with like eggs on it and stuff. Hey, thank you very much, Dennis. Have a good holiday. I'll catch you later. I'm just glad we're able to get back to some familiar things. You know, when moving, things just seem not necessarily familiar, like any sense of normalcy. New routine, new driving, new going places. We found some good places to eat. Am I attending the BoxCon in Boxborough this weekend? No, honestly, I didn't even know what was going on. So this weekend I will be here, hopefully putting the finishing touches on the campaign. I've got to come up with a couple more rewards that I talked to some retailers about that they're interested in. One of them being exclusive covers, the other just being able to order them, you know, for a retail store, which I'm not sure how. I mean, it just depends on how many copies we sell as to how cheap they are to print and like what kind of a retail discount that they can get. Because retailers generally pay. Oh, Cornish hens, she says. Desiree is going to make Cornish hens, a sweet potato pumpkin dish, bread, pumpkin tartlets, and maybe some roast carrots and mashed potatoes. Very nice. Cornish hens are awesome. Very, very. What's the word I'm looking? You've got some cooking gusto for tomorrow. They are. They're tiny chickens. They're little birds. They got little drumsticks. That's what Cornish hens are. Little drumsticks, little wings, little mini wings. Just want her to look bored, like unimpressed, you know. The arm coming this way. So the shoulder connects, and there's the tricep and bicep. There's where the pectoral muscle will be. collarbone comes forward, shoulder muscle coming towards the viewer. So it's just going to be like a little, almost from this angle, it's a shape's kind of like this. I don't know how to describe that. I like the idea that maybe she's tapping her fingers like this, like she's bored. Jonathan Brown's making a smoked pork shoulder. I'm going to swing by that household. I'll bring my own plate, I promise. Several of my friends actually spending Thanksgiving without family this year. We used to do Friendsgiving. I would like to be set up to be able to invite whoever doesn't have a place to go if they would like company. Obviously, enjoy your time however you see fit, but if somebody would like company, I'd like to be able to offer company for my friends. Pork shoulder and mac and cheese. That sounds pretty good. I don't know. Cornish hens, pork shoulder. We're just roasting a chicken and doing some Brussels sprouts. I did put it in my description that I will be doing a signing at Alternate Universe down in Milford in December, and I'm going to be doing an exclusive print, Undersea Hero Print. It'll be free, first come, first serve, at their big holiday sale. Lewis from the Angrygeeks, a show that I have listened to personally for many years, will be there along with CBCS if you wanted to get anything signed and submitted before the end of the year. That's something you can always do with me too. You can always have, if you ever order anything from me, if you want CBCS to grade it, I can submit it. And they actually give me really quick turnarounds, since I'm a creator. Let's make this kind of like a rock instead of like a table. So like he's explaining the plan. Like that's the idea, is like, don't you get it? He's a shrimp. But he's very smart. It's a smart shrimp. Got her necklace. And her shirt comes down like that. And she's got like the classic white gloves, classy supervillain stuff. For those that don't know the book, this is Professor Prawn. He's a little evil scientist shrimp. Obviously. Yep. Makes perfect sense. Grab my eraser. Yeah, I honestly don't know because Undersea Hero, the Great Barrier Reef, the book that is coming, is actually a triple size book, so it's more like a graphic folio, like a they would do over in Europe than just a single comic book. A lot of pages. They're all written. They're all laid out. You just have to finish drawing them all. One of the stretch goals on there is I get to hire some help, and that'd be my buddy Jesse for laying some flats for me. He's laid flats for me in the past for lots of projects. He does a great job. He's very reliable, and yeah, it would just be nice to have some help. David Rex, how are you? Happy to see you as well. Thank you for popping in. It's the first one in the new studio space. You guys probably can't really tell the difference because it's the same table and stuff. But like I said, I'll do a tour once we're set up. You know, I don't know if that'll be next week, but it might be. It might be next week or sometime during the week. I'll just do a little tour. Thanks, David. Yeah, I just posted the what is it the pre-launch page. I had some help from my buddy Jeff McClellan yesterday getting that rolling. I submitted it for approval, and I've been reading. I was like, oh man, I got to get it submitted right away. And I'd been working on it and working on it and working on it because it said, if I didn't get it submitted by like tomorrow, it could have taken 5 days. Well, I submitted it, and it got approved like instantly. So I credit the people that helped me if that's the case. If there's any merit to that, or if it's just that they get approved quickly for comic books or something. I don't know. Or if you're asking for like a crazy amount of money. I have it currently set for 3,000. I don't know. 3,000, 2,500 as the goal. I know how much I spend when I make my own books, when I do it myself, like I did with Helena. And I would like to be able to do that for a Kickstarter, instead of like dumping in a bunch of my own money. And then trying to show it to people, do it in reverse, where it's like I show it to people and then they buy it, and then it's, I build it and then they send it to them. So, and they already know about it. Like that's, for me, it's really just a change in order of informing people about the work. Like I'm more telling people about it, beforehand rather than, after I've already printed the books and stuff. But that's put an extra rock here, and maybe we can put like Spider Crab right here, and we can get like the whole cast on here except for Liquid Lad and stuff. I guess we'll rough in Undersea Hero a little bit better. I want him to look like he's concerned because you have all the villains meeting together. Like, oh no. Like in the 1966 Batman movie, The United Underworld. Which, if you look at my Batman TMNT cover, I snuck a reference to that on the front cover of it. So. David says, it worked for me. Getting the heads up and a book to read had me sold on it. Excellent. Yeah, the issue zeros that started in San Diego. I mean, I've been promoting it for hard since July, like at every convention, handing out flyers. And It was one of the reasons why, like, even though it's not done, I still have to go forward with it because I've just invested so much time and energy into it. Um, but I will complete it. I put in a very transparent timeline. It's a very reasonable one. And one of the things that I do that other Kickstarters don't is you get to check in on the project every week. Every week on here, I will give an update. Hey, what page got done this today? What page got done this week? What colors are sent to Jesse? You know, obviously that is pending it getting funded. And if it doesn't get funded, we'll regroup and figure something out. David saved the flyer. Excellent. It's nice to know they're not all, at the recycling center. It's funny, like my assignments from companies that people have heard of always come when I'm busy. I had one possibly reach out to me a couple weeks back. It was a character I like, so I'm like, oh, maybe I can do it. But the due date being like the day we were moving. But they said they would reach out and see if there was another opportunity, down the line. So we'll see. I never know what's going to show up in my inbox. All right, well, we got Colonel Feathers, Jan of War, the Correlator, who's very excited about his plan. I shared the Craig Rousseau variant cover that is in the Kickstarter, but I have two that people haven't seen, and Joe St. Pierre shared his cover. So there's a handful of variants, and they're all by phenomenal artists who I'm very lucky that they were willing to help me out. These are guys that did Avengers and X-Men and all the zillion other books, and made the time to help me out, which was really, really nice of them. I don't always go in with the number 2 pencil after doing blue pencil, but because I haven't been drawing a ton lately, I just want to have my spacing nailed down, especially if I'm doing like a big grin on the correlator, trying to have it sorted out. Got a handful of folk in here tonight, so thanks for anybody this is maybe their first time popping in, or if you're just lurking, if you're one of my old friends, feel free to chime in or stay as a lurker, as we call you. David says, it was such a fun world. I want to explore as a reader. I imagine for other artists, it's even more exciting. The world of Undersea Heroes is one I want to view and learn. Well, we're gonna spotlight that comment. That's very, very kind of you to say. In the issue 0 book, I published the drawing I did in college back in like 2004. So like, these are characters I've thought about on and off over the years, and done sketches of, and done, thought about and come up with story ideas for. But I didn't really get to do much with them other than like stuff in sketchbooks. And I think I did one print just to have something new, and I was inspired, and I just was like, maybe people just like how it looks, even though they don't know the characters. And some of the visuals are just combinations of things that I like and things that I think are silly. Like, some of the undersea world is actually based on that fictional version of a fish tank, an at-home fish tank, with the pebbles on the bottom. Like, there's the silly pebbles. Like, those don't exist in the ocean, those multicolored neon pebbles. But they're so iconic, and people recognize them as being part of like where sea creatures are seen. So, hey, Brian's here with Kyla. Hey, Kyla. I hope you folks have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I don't know if you saw it, Brian, but Ben Edlin posted a picture of his original signing sign from his days of working on the Tick on Twitter. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out. David said, I can't lie. The visual sold me initially. It was very striking to me. Thank you. You'll see other stuff from like fish tanks. Like there were these neon like caves and like arches that were like everywhere. Like all the PetSmarts and like the cheap places that were like PetSmart in the 80s that were probably like not great for animals, but I was just there for fish. So hopefully it was okay. Like the ones in malls when we were kids. Like malls, I don't even know if there are. Aaron's here. Hey, how's it going? Your drawing is like 4 feet away from me. It's in the blue bag. Nice and flat. Desiree says Ben posted a picture of Ghost Tiger the other day too. I didn't see that one. I'll have to click on his profile and check it out. Have you gone to see Ghost Tiger live, Desiree? That strikes me as something that you would consider doing for fun, out and about doing fun things. Excellent. I'm glad you're excited. Ooh. Desiree says she would have seen him, but she missed the announcement. And our friend Isaiah posted a very nice tribute to our mutual friend Gabe Crate, and a lovely drawing of the Tick that he got there. That was very nice to see. Gabe, like, I don't know, man. Guy can draw his butt off, and I always bug him about doing some comic stuff, but he's firmly a film guy now. So like he's a film guy. I keep trying to get him to unretire from comics for just like a pinup or something. I would love a Gabe Crate undersea hero, especially now that I'm moved and settled and I can. This is just Kyla asked, and we'll spotlight the question. So, have a good night, Aaron. Thanks for coming in. Kyla asks, what type of pencil is it that I'm using to trace my blue lines? The pencils are the same. They're both Pentel P205 0.5 leads, but they have different kinds of lead in them. The first one is just a blue lead, and that's an old technique that is honestly not needed anymore, but I just got used to it. And this is just regular old number 2 HB lead. There's nothing fancy about it at all. You can get it at a drugstore. If you want to get some fancy stuff, I like the uni leads. You can get those on a website called jetpens.com. and they're not super expensive. Or you can use it if you have your own mechanical pencil already, even just the regular old school ones, you can put any kind of pencil lead in it you like. So, so yeah, it's just a different type of lead in a regular old mechanical pencil. Really not fancy at all. And I don't know if everybody saw, but Eli Stone, another Tick alumni, actually did a drawing of Undersea Hero. I'll have to ask him if I can include it in something or repost it. I don't want to use it without his permission. But it was lovely, just lovely. I love the exaggeration and like it's great when I see folks that have drawn like the Tick in the past because when I created Undersea Hero, it was long before I ever worked on the Tick. I just liked the Ben Edlund's art, and I liked the Tick and I liked Eli's art and I liked, and it's a thrill to see some of these folks draw my silly character. I acknowledge my influences. I'm not running away from them. Um, Ben and I think they kind of shrug it off, but the guys that did the Tick stuff after Ben too, because some of them they were easier to find and they came out a little more regularly. Like when Sean Wong was doing the Tick and Arthur, I was able to get those all the time. So I read all those. Or the Heroes of the City, which was like an anthology series, and that was actually like I had actually inquired as to like, hey, why don't we do more of this and we'll do an anthology book. That way you keep all your trademarks active, which, from a business standpoint is just smart. Um, and you can have the main story be the Tick, just like in Marvel Comics Presents it with Wolverine. And then you can just have all sorts of little side adventures. I would love to do Caped Cod to this day. I would do a Caped Cod solo story, and I have a really good one written. And, I don't know what I'll do with it. If I never get the opportunity, I'll probably try to find a way to adapt it to an original character. Well, yeah, this is just a regular old pencil, Kyler. I think I need to look at my own character reference because I just haven't drawn him that much. Yeah, he's got the big shoulder pads. Oh, and it goes around his neck. That's right. That's right. It's more exaggerated. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not drawing him as like ridiculous as I usually draw him. I think it's because I'm just struggling to get through the anatomy. Got his silly ponytail. Very silly. Because back when I was a kid, if they were trying to make a character look cool, they would just throw a stupid ponytail on him or they'd give him a half jacket. So, that's what I'm making fun of here, was like the lameness of that. But he thinks he looks cool, so, we don't want to take that away from him. Don't want to take away his confidence. Do I have model sheets for all my main characters? I have what I would call master drawings. I have model sheets for Undersea Hero and Liquid Lad, but I have master, like, I don't have full turnaround. So yeah. I mean, for the most part, yes, I would say I have model sheets. But they're not, I wouldn't describe them as entirely finished drawings. They're more like detailed notes. They're in color, like they're color swatched, but like they're not like the handbook of the Marvel Universe or whatever or anything like that, where people can see the characters in finished format just standing around. Got shoulder pad. And you can't really see, like, his arm is going to be out like this. So, like, let's just rough it out so that we know we have everything in the right place. Shoulder. There's the shoulder muscle. There we go. I gotta pull it in a little bit. Pull that in. It's actually going to be like this. It's going to be cut off. And see, then when you take this away, it doesn't look weird. I have him folding his arms. Just because the idea of a shrimp with arms is funny. Like dominant arms, like they have a bunch of tiny little arms. They got the little claws in the front, like the ones in the ocean. But I very stupidly gave him like arms and feet and legs. Just because I thought it would make it funny. And it would make it read as a person. So like you would see the character and it would read as a person and not just a shrimp. Like I wanted that instant recognition that it has a personhood. I don't know how I came up with the tail just like sticking out in the front. I think it's just because it looked ridiculous. Like, because shrimp are shaped like, when they're cooked, they're shaped like this. And I was like, how would a shrimp stand up? Well, it would just look like this. It would just be angled, and then we'll just put like two little arms and two little legs, and that's how I came up with the shrimp. And it's very goofy. And then I added just like extra little legs, because when a shrimp is actually in the wilderness, they usually just stand flat on like the bottom with their little claws. I just wanted it to be funny looking. And then you have his little antennae that stick out the top. And my idea for the sketch cover in this scene is that this is the correlator trying to sell Jan and Colonel Feathers on teaming up with the insane Professor Prawn, the little shrimp guy. He's a shrimp, but he's like super smart. So let's rough this in behind him a little bit so that we know where everything goes. There's the sternum. There's some ribs. And then we'll just go like that. And then there's going to be like just some lighting there. We can add some shadow. And then there we go. And then here's his other arm, which disappears behind his body here. Hey, Ray Ramos is here. Acclaimed maker of custom, amazing cosplay stuff with his like most ridiculous cyborg cosplay I've ever seen in my life. And I've been from San Diego to New York and everywhere in between, and it's just insane. Or the giant like armored Batman. So if you ever want to see just some amazing craftsmanship and stuff, I met him when he was going as Blade, which was very, very well done. But like he just kept leveling up his fabrication game, so he just kept making like crazier and crazier stuff. Like it was classic movie Blade with like little flourishes that were original and unique. But I think the first time I saw the cyborg cosplay, I just blown away. Just, oh, he's working on your own comic book. Awesome. I think you had mentioned it to me that you were thinking about starting it, so you officially hit the gas on your original own comic book. That's awesome. Everybody should make a comic book. Yeah. Just try it once, even if it's just stick figures. I'm sure Ray can draw, so Ray's is going to be fancy and cool. So just more for because we have more of a general audience on here sometimes, which is surprising. I generally just assumed it would be me and my comic buddies and some artists hanging out, but sometimes my relatives pop in. We all remember when Uncle Bill was more of a regular. There's an arcade bar up the street here that I'm looking forward to trying out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it before the weekend. I was thinking about doing that maybe on Saturday, popping over. Just checking out, see what they got, see if they got the Simpsons arcade game or some good pinball going on. Oh, thank you, Ray. Ray and I met at the South Coast Toy and Comic Book Show, I believe. I wasn't at the first one, so I think it was at the second one. And Ray had his artwork going. He had prints and stuff. Yeah. Many moons ago. Just want Jan to look bored out of her mind. Like, why am I here with these idiots? Why am I here being told that we should hire this shrimp to help us with our evil plans? I bumped the tripod. Sorry. Still getting used to the new setup, so gonna be some hiccups. Same gear though, so hopefully the new studio won't affect the one and only trick I know to fix it if the microphone gets weird. I'll tell you what, maybe we'll. Well, I think during the Kickstarter we'll do a giveaway during every live stream. So I'll figure out what that'll be, whether it's a sketch or a signed book or something. But we will do a giveaway every live stream during the Kickstarter, and it'll be like the old days. Just share the live video on Facebook or repost it from YouTube or whatever, and tag me if it's not, Facebook or Twitter where I can see the retweets. And I'll use the old random number generator to pick out a winner. Colonel Feathers, always dressed to impress. How did I come up with that name? Honestly, I just spit it out. Like, I don't even remember at this point. That was one of the ones where I just was like thinking about. I probably said I probably said it out loud on off the cusp, and it made me laugh, so I kept it. I think that's if I find it funny, or if I tell it to someone else and they find it funny, that's always one to keep. And even if it's not like the first go round, I'll save it for later. And why does a penguin need a scuba pack? Because if he didn't have his little scuba pack, he'd have to keep going to the surface if he was, at an underwater meeting like this, which clearly it's much safer to do for villains to meet underwater than, over at the beach or whatever. Now that I'm at my new studio, maybe we can finally do that, like, inking assignment that we've been talking about. Try to think of something not too difficult for people to try to ink. Maybe Colonel Feathers is a good one to try. After all, he's a penguin, and penguins are fun to draw, and a little easier because they're just a few shapes connected together. Kevin Ellman is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin, do you have a website for your comic book business yet? You can drop that in the comments there if you'd like. Kevin has the world's greatest Aquaman sketch collection, in my opinion. And every time I see him, he's got like 3 more by fantastic artists. So my jealousy only grows as his collection grows. One of the things, if I can do it in a sketch, is I like to have some sort of text. Hey, Ray. Well, the Kickstarter, the pre-launch page link is in the comments there, and it's in the description. And the quickest way I describe it to people on the fly is it's the Tick and Aquaman meet the Muppets. So it's like undersea creatures, and you can see issue 0. You'll be able to see these first pages from the Great Barrier Reef, which is the Kickstarter, on the page, and you'll be able to read it, and hopefully you'll laugh and enjoy it. And these are the main characters, as you can see. This is the Correlator, Krakus, Undersea Hero, Jana War, Liquid Lad, Colonel Feathers, Professor Prawn, and the Spectacular Spider Crab. And these are the henchmen, the spongemen. This is the sea sponge right here, and they sit atop a unsuspecting lackey's head and wipe their minds clean. And they have these tiny little knives. That's their like weapon of choice. They're not given scuba packs. They're given the classic mask and snorkel. But Krakus is a cuttlefish who likes a fancy drink, likes gambling, and it's going to be going live on the 30th. And it's silly, it's fun. If you're a fan of my silly work, my funny, my comedic work, then this is going to be for you. Or if you just want to check out something new, I think comics have the ability to do so much, and like so much has been done with the superhero genre, but I want to have a vessel to tell heartfelt stories and actually say something about the medium and the genre and the tropes and say things about them. And during these fun little adventures that hopefully make everyone laugh, there will be actually stuff to look for beneath the surface. There's going to be depth to Undersea Hero. And oh, I'm glad you love the pull-out poster. I think you're the only people that probably pulled it out, other than me on my copy. I ripped it out, and just because that's a thing that I don't think I'm going to have any free pages for one with the Great Barrier Reef, but we have so many stretch goals that are mini posters or half fold posters and different stuff. I've been working really hard to come up with really cool stuff. So. We actually have one stretch goal that I'll tell you about that is for Jeff and I to revive. Because, like, I think the reason people like to go to Kickstarter for comics is to get comics and to support their friends. And one of the things that I wanted to do was have stretch goals where I make more comics. So if we reach another level, it's going to be more comic books. Jeff McClellan, the writer of The Tick, is involved with one potentially. I would like to use the platform of Kickstarter to give people more comics that they want to read, you know? And some of the companies that I work for, like, honestly, they've just cut back what they produce so much. And people ask me, like, oh, when's your next Tick comic coming out? I've done stories for them that are just sitting on a shelf. Kevin says his goldfish Freckles is going to be in the book. That is one of the rewards. You're going to be able to either, your pet fish or your favorite sea creature. If you wanted to have a custom little spot for a sea creature in the book. I was trying to think of ways to make it funny because most people have freshwater tanks. Like maybe they have to have little undersea suits or little breathing apparatuses if they're freshwater fish, like a goldfish, or if that's just too much. Here's their little rock that they're sitting on. It comes up like this, and you can see that it's like that. I'm having fun drawing this. It's a silly little scene, and it tells a story. I like pictures that tell a story over pinups. I'm not great at pinups, to be honest. I gotta refer to you see, the Spectacular Spider Crab has some. If you ever see a spider crab, the proportions are similar, but I changed the eyes. And a spider crab is also called a decorator crab because they'll pick stuff up off the bottom and like little pieces of seaweed and spit on them and then glue it to their own backs. Oh, I missed a comment here. Aqua Freckles, heck yeah. Brian says he used to have a piranha named Ralph at a time when he was watching reruns of The Honeymooners. Well, I'm so glad so many of my friends have decided to pop in after we missed a week. My goodness. And people I don't see often, like Ray popped in. Haven't seen Ray in, I think I saw him for a second at Rhode Island, but yeah, we were walking down the halls, I think. David says, we appreciate that you didn't have the poster contain comic pages on the back sides. That's always helpful. Yep, that was the plan. So that like if you took this out, you could still, read the thing. That was the idea. I mess stuff up like that sometimes with pagination, but you do things for so long. At my table? Okay. I couldn't remember. I thought we were walking in the hallway, but my mistake. That's right. You popped by and you said you were talking about maybe working on your comic book, but now it's official. You're doing the comic. I believe that was the order of things, but it's been a little bit. And as you know, I know it is for you when you're in your uniforms or your cosplays. Uh, can just be kind of a blur with how many people are there. Ashley, yes, yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I was on my birthday. I was moving. I apologize. I thought I got back to everyone, but I didn't. So I failed at that one. I had so many messages. People were being so nice. It was you know a little overwhelming. I try to reply to everyone personally, even on Facebook, with just uh, comments. And on Facebook this year, I had like 400 comments that I replied to. I don't want to do a mass thank you. I want to everybody that took the time. I really do try really hard to reply to everyone. I saw the picture you posted, Ashley, of your family. It was a beautiful photo. Ragamuffins Inc. I was gonna comment that, but everyone was saying such nice things. I didn't want people to think I was, saying anything other than that I was appreciative of the photograph. Ray Ramos says, I'm there for the fans, but I always try to say hi to my friends while I'm walking around. I know you do, Ray. I know. I think you've said hi at every Rhode Island show, even though you probably have, 10 million things and you do street team events for the convention and all sorts of stuff, and you got a million other appearances. Although if you got a comic coming out, hopefully I'll see you in an artist alley. That would be cool. Tabling instead of marching around. Oh, Kevin Elman asked, "Do I get to pick the type of shell?" If you mean in the reward for Ian finds you a sweet shell, I was going to be the judge of a sweet shell, but if you would like the sweet shell, uh, I can send you a picture of a couple of options. Since I have your direct contact info, we could work that out. If you are a very specific collector of specific shells, some of the better shells on the beaches here tend to be like some of the multicolored scallop shells, razor clams. Very rarely, I'll find a beautiful moon snail shell. For some reason, I have a little message. Ashley says, I'm fine and thank you. Good, good. It seemed like a serious post where everyone was like, you have a beautiful family. I hope they all excel in whatever happiness, endeavors, and lifelong aspirations they have. And then I'd be coming in with like my silly comments, like, guess I was just being self conscious. Oh, thank you. You never know. Never know with family stuff. I've definitely told the occasional joke at a family get together that had fallen flat. So it takes me a little while to bounce back. There we go. Just trying to get the major shapes in there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is like the scene where the correlator is trying to convince Jana War that they should work with Professor Braun, who's an insane shrimp genius. He's a shrimp, but he's a evil scientist genius. And then Colonel Feathers is just he'll whatever Jana War says goes. He will support to the best of his ability. And then you've got like her long hair that like curls around because it's two-tone. So like her hair on one side is orange and on one side it's this blue color. So like on the outside it's blue and then on the underside it's orange. It's just a fun visual dynamic to add that requires little to no extra effort. Just adds a little extra coloring time. It's getting a little extra smudge because I got a Band-Aid on my hand, but not much can be done about that. And yeah. Gasp. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get some pens out. We'll do a little bit of inking before we call it a night. Get some pens. I kind of want to ink the shrimp. I kind of want to ink our shrimp friend there first, just for the heck of it. See, I like where you're going with this, Kevin. Black mantis shrimp, or just a mantis shrimp. Tank busters. When we were at working at Mariah Mitchell, we actually did have one crack a tank with its what do you call it? The little punching deals in the front arms there. Wow, a new pen. How did that slip by? Are you selling this at a future show, or is this for the Kickstarter? It'll likely be for the Kickstarter, but it might be a giveaway because I think starting next, especially when the Kickstarter's going, there will be a giveaway for each one towards, the Kickstarter, and we're gonna do the same thing that we used to do. All you got to do is share the video so other people can see it, and you get entered to win an original drawing. So maybe this will be the first one. Let's decide that. I'll finish this beforehand, and we'll make it a giveaway for the first. And it makes sense because it's like a scene from before the first issue. Because in this issue 0, which contains the first, 8, 9 pages of the book, The Great Barrier Reef, um, actually, it's not this page, but it'd be the next page is when we meet Professor Prawn for the first time. So they've already started working together by the Great Barrier Reef. I could sell it, but I want people to check out the Kickstarter. That's my modus operandi at the moment. I do have a signing in Connecticut. I mentioned in December in Milford, where I'll have an exclusive print for Undersea Hero, and I'll be there with my buddy Jay. The Angrygeeks will be there. I could sell it, but I like not. I like doing. I like giving art away when I can, and I know that that seems weird. It's like one of the things I aspire to get to is, sometimes some people are like, oh, I want the big giant setup at a comic convention one day. I want to have like the J. Scott Campbell setup. um, or who are some of the other, like the Alex Ross has like stairs. My favorite setups are like Jeff Darrow, David Lloyd. They just show up and throw some pens on a table, and they just do sketches because they feel like doing it, and they can afford to just. They have the financial stability to do that, and so does Walt Simonson. He did free sketches for forever. Although I did see recently he started charging people. Oh, thanks so much, Ray. It was wonderful getting to talk to you for a bit, and yeah, good luck inking, man. I'm right here inking with you. There we go. Got his little jacket. Professors always have like a big fluffy mustache and a jacket, right? Hey, thank you, Kevin. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you for coming in. Kevin's got to check out. So, best to Sharon. There's just little tiny legs that these are more like actual shrimp legs. And it's such a weird design. I don't know. I don't know. But it's another one, just like the name Colonel Feathers, like Kayla had asked earlier. Um, I just wanted it to be funny. So the idea that his little shrimp tail like sticks straight out is just like it's absurd. But yeah, they have minimal setups and they're able to just do drawings because they like doing them. Got a couple little spots there, and then he's got his weird little feet. Like the idea that a shrimp has feet is weird, but it's funny to me. I don't know why. Uh, we've got our little Professor Prawn. There will be stuff available for the Kickstarter artwork, and everyone's been asking. I got such a request for stuff. So I've capitulated because I very badly want this thing to happen. You will be able to purchase some published artwork through the Kickstarter for Undersea Hero. There will be a very limited number. There will not be specific pages available, but I promise they will be main pages, real pages. There will be no baloney pages here. So if you do decide to pick a reward with the original page or actually this cover will be available. The issue 0 cover will be for sale. That's how badly I never sell covers. I never do. You only get to sell them once. But I want this book to happen, so we're gonna put it out to the world and into the universe, and hopefully the universe is like, yeah, you can have your book. Well, it's 9:30, and I'm getting a little tired. And we got a lot done today. We got a lot of this sketch done, and I like the story. I like Jana Ward tapping her fingers out of boredom, like not wanting to be there. And I think we're going to call it a night. So I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and the Undersea Hero cast. So I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving that celebrates Thanksgiving. People that are watching from elsewhere in the world, a happy Thursday. So have a good night, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye, everybody.